Hello, everyone. I am Ana-María Ramos, your state representative for Texas House District 102. And today we've invited several special speakers to talk to our community, specifically our senior community regarding voting. We have with us Esmeralda Garcia from Dallas County Elections Office, Renee Perry from the Senior Source, and Barbara Larkin from the League of Women Voters. Esmeralda, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, yes, ma'am. I am Voter Registration Outreach and Education Coordinator with the Dallas County Elections Department. I've been here since 2013, and I'm out in the community educating the people and also assisting in voter registration drives and things like that.
Awesome. Renee?
Hi, thank you so much, Representative Ramos, for having me. I'm Renee Perry. I'm the Chief Operating Officer at the Senior Source, which is a local nonprofit organization that serves the greater Dallas area and supports older adults.
Thank you. Older adults. That's the correct word. I apologize for that. Older adults. I will learn. I'm a quick learner. And Ms. Barbara Larkin.
Yeah, hi, I'm Barbara Larkin, and I'm the Vice President of Voter Services for the League of Women Voters of Dallas. And I've been on the board for a couple of years, and we register a lot of voters and try to give people as much information as they can get.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And as a government instructor, League of Women Voters is amazing, especially for young, new voters. It's always, they learn so much from your annual or your election manuals that you all give out. So thank you so much, ladies, for joining us tonight. And we'll start with you, Esmeralda. Could you explain to the community we're hearing a lot about mail-in ballots. Could you explain a little bit about what is a mail-in ballot and what do older adults need to do in order to obtain one, and who qualifies to get one? Is it just older adults?
Okay, no. In order to request a ballot by mail, you do have to be a registered voter. So do make sure that you get registered to vote and then request your ballot by mail. The qualifications in order to request a ballot by mail is that you have to be at least 65 years of age or older, out of the county during early voting and election day, disabled. If you're disabled, you can get a ballot by mail, confined in jail, but with the right still to vote, and or in need of an emergency ballot due to death in the family. Those are the requirements in order to apply for a ballot by mail, qualify.
Okay, but I have to be registered to vote first, and the deadline to register to vote is October the 5th. Is that correct?
Monday, October the 5th is the last day to register to vote. Yes, ma'am. And the last day to request a ballot by mail is October the 23rd. So those 2 days are very important if you are going to get or want a ballot by mail. Don't forget, it's October the 23rd.
And where do individuals ask for a mail-in ballot? How do they request one?
Okay, the mail-in ballot, they can call us and we can send them one. They can call us at 214-819-6359. They can also go on our website at Dallas County Votes, and they can print one, fill it out, and mail it in, or bring it in as well. They can drop it off in the office, or come and pick it up and fill one out here in our office at 1520 Round Table Drive.
Oh, they can they can go to your office and complete their ballot there?
Their application.
Oh, their application.
Their application for a ballot by mail, yes.
Okay, their application for a ballot by mail. How safe are mail-in ballots?
Well, right now, because, I mean, the post office, all the rumors that you've heard about the post office, I'm not gonna point no fingers, but I need you guys to do it as soon as possible. If you do, as soon as you get your ballot in the mail, which they've already started going out, make sure you get it back to us as soon as possible. You can put it in the mail, but we've also have a new benefit, which you can also come drop it off in our office to assist you if you're not trusting the post office. So, you can bring it here in our office as soon as you receive it, you completed it, you voted it, you can drop it off in our office.
Okay, so if I'm a senior citizen and I don't feel comfortable mailing it, and can I have my daughter take me to your office, and can she run off and drop it off, or do I have to get off and take it to you?
Yes, you have to bring it yourself. We have to see your ID. We do have curbside though. So, and we have a station outside waiting for the people that are coming to drop off their ballot by mail. So you don't have to get out of your car. You can stay in your car and we will come to you and get your ballot, get your ID, and have you sign everything that you need to sign from your car.
Okay. So if I want to get a mail-in ballot, I'm already registered to vote. I have to call you all. I don't automatically get a mail-in ballot. I have to request one.
Yes, ma'am. We don't automatically send ballot by mails. You have to request someone, submit the application, whether you want one just for that election or whether you want one for all year. That is an option in the application. So you have to request it.
So it's a two-step process. I have an application to request one, and then I receive the mail-in ballot.
Yes,
well,
ma'am.
at 3 steps, and then I have to turn in the mail-in ballot, whether I turn it in or mail it.
Yes, ma'am. That's
okay.
Fill out get registered to vote, request your ballot by mail application, and then get your ballot. So those three things, you have to do them in order to participate in the ballot by mail. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what happens if I request one and I don't receive one?
If you don't receive one, a ballot, you can still show up to vote, and then we can cancel your ballot. That process is mainly recommended during early voting as well. You can do it on election day, but like we said, we strongly suggest early voting. We can cancel your ballot while during early voting in a lot more easier ways.
Okay, so the last day I can register, the last day I can request a mail-in ballot, which is really to get that application to request a mail-in ballot, is what day?
The application is due in October 23rd.
October 23rd. Once I receive that
postmarked.
application.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's got to be postmarked by October 23rd.
October 23rd, yes, ma'am.
Okay, so it's got to be postmarked, and then shortly after, I will receive my mail-in ballot.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, it'll get processed. It'll get processed. You should get. We're trying to process them as soon as we're getting them. Now, you should get it within 3 to 4 days, depending on the post office. Hopefully, no longer than 10 days, you'll get your ballot.
Okay, so we really encouraging people to, if they're going to request a mail-in ballot, get that application today. Request that so that you can get your mail-in ballot today, and do it during early voting so that you can confirm.
Yes, but make sure you keep our phone number. After you request your ballot by mail, please call us, check on it. Did we receive, I haven't received my ballot. Can you tell me what the status of that is? Call us at that phone number, 214-819-6359, and they'll let you know.
Okay. Will they also let one know if they've received their ballot? If you did receive my ballot, if I did mail, will you let me know, or will I be able to call you all and ask, did you receive my ballot? Has it been processed?
You can call and ask, yes, ma'am. We'll let you know if we received it.
Okay, wonderful. Are there any other questions or any other items that you think would be of interest to people regarding the mail-in ballot process?
No, the main thing is that we have that benefit now that they can come and drop it off here as soon as they have completed it. And that is very good thing to know, that they don't even have to get out of their car in order to come and deliver their ballot. We're here waiting for them. So I think that's a very good benefit for the people that have requested a ballot by mail and they do not trust the post office. They can come drop it off here in our office.
Okay, and between what hours can they do that?
There is a schedule with several days that we're staying late, but during early voting, all that schedule, the early voting schedule is on Saturdays 1 to 6 and Monday through Friday 7 to 7. We will be here waiting for them.
Okay. And one question that we talked about briefly prior to the video, and questions that the community have asked too, if I receive my ballot, so I filled out the application, I have my ballot, I don't even want to turn it into your office. I want to go to local. I decide, change my mind. I want to vote in person during early voting. So I have my ballot in my hand. Can I go vote in early voting in person with that ballot?
If you don't want to vote your paper ballot no more, you can go turn it in, yes, and go. It'll be a ballot for ballot. Don't go to the polling location without your ballot and say, I don't want to vote it. We're going to give you a ballot for a ballot.
Okay. So you used the word surrender previously. I surrender that ballot, and then you'll allow me to vote with the machine.
With the machines, yes, ma'am. You can do that.
Okay. Okay. And if it's something that people are going to do, it'd be best to do it during early voting.
During early voting, yes, ma'am. During early voting, you have more days to take advantage of that instead of waiting till election day, because on election day you have long lines and the day just goes really fast. So take advantage during early voting to do everything that you need to do.
Wonderful, thank you. So for individuals who've requested it and have it under stacks of mail like I do, it's important that if you're going to change your mind, you're going to have to take that paper with you, right? If you want to be able to vote.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much, Esmeralda. And we will likely have some questions if you can stay with us for the remainder of the presentation. Now, Ms. Renee Perry from the Senior Source, thank you again for joining us. Can you tell our constituents about Senior Source and some of the programs that you offer?
Sure, thank you so much for having me. So the Senior Source is a social service organization that has been around serving the Dallas area since 1961. So we've been here for a long time. And we really do a lot of different things to support older adults. And, you know, when you think about how people age and the fact that people age so differently, we want to make sure that there really are programs and services for that full spectrum. So for active, healthy older adults, things like employment assistance, helping older adults find volunteer opportunities, ways to give back and connect and stay active and involved in the community, to more frail, vulnerable older adults who have growing needs. So we have the long-term care ombudsman program, for example, that advocates for residents in long-term care facilities. And then everything in between. With our Elder Financial Safety Center, one of the things that we see a lot is that older adults are particularly targeted for frauds and scams. And so we do a lot of work with older adults around preventing frauds and scams from occurring, or if they have been victimized, helping them with that process to either file a complaint with whatever the legal entity is that would be oversight for that, and then help them with their budget in trying to protect themselves moving forward, helping them apply for benefits that they might be eligible for. I mentioned employment earlier. You know, there are a lot of folks who are looking for employment, and unfortunately there's a lot of frauds and scams out there in terms of helping people find employment. Pay us $2,000 and we'll write a resume and guarantee a job. That kind of thing that is actually not accurate. And so just trying to help older adults in whatever way possible, whether it's financial assistance and support, or really helping them maintain that social connection. I think we all have realized these last few months, older adults have been particularly hit with both because of the increased vulnerability and risk of the disease itself, and also the impact of that social isolation that many of them have experienced. And so, you know, we're very mindful of that and wanting to help and support them through this time, and family caregivers who are, you know, taking care of loved ones and helping support them as well.
Are you getting any questions from older adults regarding the mail-in ballot process or the voting process? What are you hearing from older adults?
That's a great question, and one of our programs is actually an advocacy program that helps educate older adults on issues and helps inform them of opportunities to advocate for issues, and voting certainly is a part of that. And so out some information on our website and our Facebook page around some of the things that Esmeralda was just talking about around early voting and poll locations and the typical kinds of information that people want to know. We are also working with our long-term care ombudsman program around providing information to facilities. You know, given how hard hit assisted living facilities and nursing homes have been, voting may not be their top of mind priority at the moment. And yet that's a very crucial right that those residents may want to exercise. And so how can they support the residents in their facilities? And so sharing information with family caregivers and with staff in these facilities so that they understand the rights that these residents may have and how to help them vote safely.
Yes, because as somebody who stands at the polls on election day, oftentimes I'll see buses with older adults to go and vote. Is that something that a lot of the homes are going to be doing this time around, or are they?
You know, that's a great question. I feel like, and what we're hearing back is there will really be much less of that and more of the making sure people have, are early voting, have the mail-in ballots, and are using that as a safe alternative to actually being in a bus environment. For a lot of these residents and facilities, you know, they are not at a place just safety-wise and precaution-wise where they could bring people out of facilities and in groups and transport them. So, you know, I think for those residents particularly and folks in similar situations, having that mail-in ballot is so important to help maintain their safety, but to also allow them to exercise that right to vote. Right.
Wow. Okay. Well, thank you. Could you share again the website address and the phone number for the Senior Source?
Absolutely. Our website is theseniorsource.org. So www.theseniorsource.org. Our phone number is 214-823-5700.
And we'll be posting that on our website as well. And we were doing a lot of calls in the very beginning of the pandemic, and we did hear a lot from our senior citizens and older adults, a lot of questions. So thank you for being with us tonight and answering some of our questions to help our community get out the vote and tap into some of the resources. Yes, thank you. Now, next I have Ms. Barbara Larkin from the League of Women Voters. Thank you for joining us, Ms. Barbara. And could you remind us when the deadline to register to vote is, and a little bit about what the League of Women Voters does?
Sorry. Sorry. The deadline is this coming Monday, October 5th, to get registered. County Elections Office will be open that whole day until late at night, in fact. So for people like us, we're going to be out at a lot of events. There'll be a lot of places. If people do still need to register, there's a lot of places they can go. We have events this weekend at supermercados, and we have the library, we have events, we're going to be at farmers markets. There's a whole big list on our website. So if someone wants to, can go to our website, which is lwvdallas.org. One of the first things you come to is list of places you can still register.
Okay, so if I haven't registered yet, I can go on your website, go to any of these places, and I will see a group of individuals, I guess, with clipboards, or there'll be a sign there that I could register to vote, and I just have to talk to one of you. I'll fill out an application. You take care of the rest?
Yes, we take care of the rest, and we'll be turning in forms late. Esmeralda, you can watch for us. We'll be there.
We will be here waiting for y'all.
We'll be turning in the forms late on Monday. Because we plan to have a lot of things going on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
Okay, so it'll be all weekend. There's opportunities where individuals all over Dallas County can go and register to vote.
Yes. Yes.
Awesome. Awesome.
One thing we would add is that we always encourage people to, if they can, go to the Dallas County Votes website, which is Esmeralda's website, and look up whether they're registered first, because we encounter people all the time that don't know they're registered, and they actually are. So you could save yourself a little trouble if you go to Voter Lookup and look yourself. You might actually already be registered, you just don't know it.
So on the website, dallascountyvotes.org, there's a link that says Voter Lookup. I can plug in my information, my date of birth, and it'll tell me if I'm registered or not.
Correct. It says status active, or it says status something. But if it says status active, that means you're registered. And we
And
find
if-
all the time, people don't know.
Okay, and if my address has changed or my name has changed from what's on the website, what do I do?
Well, you can either go fill out another form with us, or in some cases, you can do that online. So you can actually do that online if it's just if you're within county, and so if it's within a county address, you can do it online, or if it's just a name change. But if it's without a county, or if you've moved far away, you need to come fill out a new form.
Okay, and on that Dallas County DallasCountyVotes.org, where it says voter lookup, can I find a sample ballot there where I put my information, and if I am registered, am I able to find a sample ballot there?
Yes, that is my favorite place on the Dallas County website. You go to Dallas County Votes, voter lookup, and I always choose voter lookup and view my sample ballot. And that spot is the best spot on the website because you can look yourself up and see if you're registered, and then you scroll down and it says view sample ballot, and you click on it, and everything on your ballot comes up. A PDF of your ballot comes up.
Am I able to print that and take it with me?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, so what happens if I don't know everybody on that ballot?
Okay.
How do I get that information?
Okay, so the other thing that is the League of Women Voters has actually a national website called vote411.org. And Vote411 it's got basically federal, state, and local candidates. So all the candidates on your ballot, most of them, will be in Vote 411. And you actually, Vote 411 starts very similar as the Dallas County Votes website. You start it, you go in, you put in your address, because that's how it's determined who you're voting for. And you click on view personal. You can either go to view my sample ballot, or you can go view information about my personalized information about my candidates. And basically at Vote 411, we ask all the candidates questions about issues. So about jobs and about healthcare and about climate. And we ask them questions, and we take exactly their answers. We don't edit them at all, and we put them in this website. So you can scroll down and see everything that you might be interested in knowing about the candidates. And it's a really good website. So there's Vote 411, which is the digital version of that. But then there's also the same thing is actually the printed version, which many people call the voter's guide. And so we print the voter's guide, which is a slightly abbreviated version to that digital Vote 411 guide, which is all about candidate information. And
Will you all,
go ahead.
I'm sorry, will you all have those voter guides available this weekend at the different locations?
We won't. The digital version is all available right now. It's all up. But the printed one takes a little longer. And so that one actually is I think it's coming back from the printer on October 8th. And we should have it in our strategy, it's a little harder in the pandemic to get these out in the public, but we're planning to have them at all the Dallas County libraries, which as of today are open. So all the libraries will have them. We're also going to have them at certain churches, at certain medical offices. We're working on our strategy of how to get those printed voter guides out into the community. So if anyone has any ideas, let us know. So we will, yes, someone said, can you request a voter's guide? And yes, you can. We're going to have them at our office. Our office is at 6060 Central Expressway, and we'll have a big stack at our office. So if you have a car, if you have access to a car, you could go to our office and get a voter's guide.
Are they free?
Yes, they're free.
Awesome. So I can gather the information and highlight. I'm sorry, my dogs are going crazy here. So if I print out my sample ballot and I can compare it with the candidates or whatever's on Vote 411, highlight whoever I want and take that ballot with me to vote so that I can go faster when I'm clicking in the boxes to see who I'm going to vote for.
Absolutely. Yes, it's a good way to do it.
Now, does your Vote 411 also have a link to the different party platforms? Or if I don't want to read the whole book, I just want a summary of what each party stands for: Libertarian, the IND, Independent, Democrat, Republican. Is there a link on your website that kind of directs people to each different party?
Yeah, I actually am not sure.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just threw it.
I will get back to you with that answer.
Well, I think as an instructor for school, I want to say that in the past, in the back of your guide, like on the last page, there was a link, there was the websites for each party where individuals could go.
I think it's in the printed guide, and I have to find it in Vote 411. I'm not quite, I have to go see where it is. I'm pretty sure
Okay.
it's in there.
Okay, well, and that's good, thank you. And I think it's always a way for people, I would tell my students, if you don't know all of the people, look at the party platforms, and it gives you a summary of what they stand for so that you can make your decisions accordingly. If you don't know, because not everybody knows everybody on the ballot, but it's just a way where shared values and people will kind of be able to relate to whatever best party they can align with. But thank you so much. And those are very important resources for voters. Was there, let me see if there were any additional questions, because one of the questions was, can you have a voter's guide mailed to you? And can you use your phone at the polls?
Yeah, okay, so you can't pull your phone out when you're in a polling location. I'll start with that one first. So you have to find a way to either write it down or print it. The voter's guide has a way where you can click on all your choices and send it to print in the digital version. So then you can print it right from the digital voter's guide. Or if you, like, for example, when Esmeralda said they're gonna send out those probably PDFs of your sample ballot, you'll have a piece of paper, and then you could go through and check them off and bring, I would recommend people bring in paper.
Bring in paper.
Yes.
Okay.
And right now we don't have a plan to mail people the voter's guide. I'll at this time. So I'll look at that. But,
Okay. And maybe people have friends in the community, like our precinct chairs who are amazing, but at local libraries, they can send somebody to go pick one up.
Exactly.
Could you all tell us a little bit about straight ticket voting and what's different this time around with straight ticket voting, what that was, and are we going, and what to expect this upcoming election?
Do you want me to say that? Either me or Esmeralda. My understanding on straight ticket voting is it will not be on the ballot. And so there had been back and forth as to whether it would be allowed. Straight ticket voting means you can vote for all the candidates on the ballot that are one party or the other. So you could, for example, vote for all Democrats, or you could vote for all Republicans, and it definitely saved you time in the polls. There's a lawsuit that's going back and forth right now, but right now my understanding is that will not be on the ballot. So if you want to vote for all Democrats or all Republicans, you can do that. You just have to go through the ballot one at a time, and it says next to every candidate what their party is. So it's pretty easy to just go down and vote for D or go down and vote for R. So if you want to vote straight ticket, meaning all the same party, you can still do that. It just takes an extra minute.
Okay, so I was looking at a sample ballot today, so it'll have in parentheses next to the name REP for Republican, or DEM for Democrat, or GRN for Green Party, LIB for Libertarian. And so that's how individuals can identify which party they're with.
Right.
Okay. What are some of the best practices, before we wrap up, what are some of the best practices? What should people do to be best prepared for voting during a pandemic with no straight party ticket voting now? So I understand it's going to be an average of about 10 to 13 minutes at the polls now when you're voting, versus not at the polls, but to vote, because you're going to have to go through each box now. We're telling everybody, don't stop at the top, keep going, do the whole ballot, just like you would. My grandmother used to make us eat everything off our plate for dinner. You couldn't leave anything on the plate. And, you know, we've got to do that for voting. Don't leave anything on the plate. But so what are some additional best practices or suggestions that we're giving, that you all are giving the community, to ensure a safe, quick, effective, and honest, I guess, voting process this upcoming election?
One of the things that we always encourage people is we encourage people to early vote, first of all. But if you're able, we encourage people to early vote at what we consider to be off times. So instead of voting the first day or the last day, if you can go on, there's 18 days of early voting, which is actually a lot of days. If you can go somewhere on those middle 16 days, and maybe don't go at the last minute, don't go at 6:50, which is, I used to work the polls, lots of people running in at 6:50. And we would encourage people to vote at a different time during the day. And also making a plan for when you're going to vote is something we always encourage people to sort of have it in your brain what day you're going to go and when, so then it'll hold you to it, you know, or go with a friend, something that'll encourage you to get out there and do it, you know, earlier in the process. And then the polls will be set up pretty well for COVID, I think, in terms of spacing and hand sanitizer and plexiglass. And there's a lot there that will make people feel fine, I think, about voting. So they just have to, you know, they have to do their research and make a plan to go.
Anything else, Esmeralda, that you'd like to add?
No, my main thing now is view your sample ballot, review it, make your selections in your sample ballot and take it into the polls. That way you can go in and get out really, really fast. It is very, very helpful for you to do that.
Last question. I'm often at the polls and you see those people, like you said, running at 6:50 and they're running in their scrubs or whatever to get in line. And, you know, 7 o'clock, you have to be in line before 7 o'clock. What do you tell those people who are like, no, I knew there was 18 days to vote, but I wanted to vote on election day, but my boss wouldn't let me get out of work, and that's why I'm here late, and I barely made it. What do we tell those people? What do we tell them to dissuade them from doing that?
I don't know. It's hard. It's always kind of funny. We actually, one of the last times I worked the polls, the last day of, I think it was 12 days of early voting, a number of people rushed in at 6:55 on the 12th day or something. And literally everybody in the polling location got laughing. We just all got giggling because the voters were giggling, the workers were giggling. It just was so ridiculous that they waited 12 days and they were in the, like all these people were coming and they were like, we were all just laughing so hard. We were getting punchy, but it's a little better if people would vote a little earlier in the process. So.
Yes. Well, and there's also weekends, right? People, they could vote on a Saturdays and Sundays as well.
Saturdays and Sundays, yes.
2 full weekends in this process, and both Saturdays the polls are open 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So that's actually really, that's a lot. And then the Sundays are 1 to 6. So if they can do that. And I have one more thing I want to add, just if you don't mind. The League of Women Voters has, we always take questions on our phone number. 214-688-4125. And so if someone has questions, on Mondays, we started a process where we try to call people back in a minute. We have what we call it a hotline. It's a little different. You leave a message and we call you right back. And so we keep a lot of the voting experts ready to go on Mondays and we call people back really quickly. So if people have voting questions, and no question is too dumb for us, we love questions, they can call us and we'll call them right back.
And what was that number again?
214-688-4125.
4125. Thank you so much. Thank you. And, you know, to all those people who want to wait for election day because you like the rush or whatever, vote early and then just hang out at the polls on election day if you want to. Hang out 30 minutes after so you can see other people. But don't do it yourself because our future depends on it and we got to make sure that every vote is counted. So thank you so much, Renee, Barbara, and Esmeralda for joining us today. Again, the Senior Source, League of Women Voters in Dallas County Elections Office, for sharing this valuable information and all of the resources available to our older community. And we enjoyed talking with you all today, learned a lot, and I'm sure our community will be reaching out to you all, but thank you for educating and informing us so that we can get out the vote. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.